What is going on, everybody? My name is Kneeckoh and welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC Moveset Guide video. Today we are going to be talking about a Pokemon that I feel is actually pretty slept on, and I was even sleeping on it to an extent because I just hadn't really messed around with this Pokemon in Series 2, and that Pokemon is Houndstone. Houndstone is actually really fun to use right now and makes a lot of sense when you look at some of the popular Pokemon in the format. So if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subbed for more videos like this in the future. We are trying to hit the goal of 5,000 subs by July this year, and all help is appreciated. But let's get into it. So like I said, Houndstone is a Pokemon that I feel a lot of people are sleeping on right now, myself included. I was sleeping on it until recently. I started playing with a team on the in-game ladder with a Houndstone and a Tyranitar on it, and it is honestly such a fun Pokemon to use and such a good Pokemon to use right now because it plays very well into a lot of popular Pokemon in the format. If you look at its moveset here with the one I'm running, you know, Last Respect's very powerful. You know, you usually use this as an endgame sweeper. Very powerful Pokemon with Last Respects, but also has access to things like Play Rough and even Will-O-Wisp for some utility. Just very strong, and because it's so fast, you don't really have to dedicate that much into its speed, that you can actually play around with some of its defensive EVs, and this thing can take a hit or two, which is actually really nice. I also have the one I've been playing with is a Fairy Terra typing to boost those Play Roughs as well. So it's just a very versatile Pokemon, especially when you look at what is good. You know, like Roaring Moon doesn't like taking a Play Rough. Opposing Tyranitars don't like taking Play Rough. Great Tusk doesn't like taking Play Rough. There's a lot of Pokemon out there that don't like that, but then also many Pokemon don't like Last Respects either. You know, with Goldango still being so popular, with Fluttermane still being so popular, you're seeing even some Screamtail sprinkled in here and there, Gothitelle. You know, a lot of Pokemon don't like Last Respects, and then just a normal Pokemon that take neutral damage from it don't like it, obviously, because of the bonuses that it gets. But just all in all, a very powerful Pokemon. And the reason I think it's so good right now is because you are seeing such a jump in Pokemon like Tyranitar. Like, Tyranitar had a lot of use cases in Series 1, and I definitely thought it was a Pokemon that was going to fall off in Series 2. I just made a guide recently on why this Pokemon is so good, so if you want to talk about Tyranitar, go check that video out. But Tyranitar is so freaking good right now because you are typically pairing it with something like a Great Tusk. Great Tusk is so prevalent, and that most of the teams you're seeing Tyranitar on do also feature a Great Tusk. And the reason you're seeing it is mainly because, one, you don't take damage from Sandstorm on this particular Pokemon, but also this Pokemon's not very defensive. If you look at some typings that are, you know, very strong against it, like Psychics from Indeedee Armor Rouge aren't going to be fun, or from Gothitelle, Tyranitar can rotate into those and take those just fine. You know, things of that nature. Also, the main Terra typing on this Pokemon is Flying, so pairing it with Great Tusk with like an Earthquake is actually doing pretty significant stuff. So you're seeing just a spike in Tyranitar usage, and it plays just well into most stuff because most people are running Assault Vest, so it's just a bulky kind of chipper on a team. You're just using it to chip stuff down, maybe get an Oko here and there, like Heavy Slam Okos, Fluttermanes. You know, just a very useful Pokemon, and Houndstone pairs so well because of Sand Rush. Now, I think this is such a fun combination as just like an endgame scenario. Go in and have two Pokemon down, throw out Tyranitar, throw out Houndstone, and now you have 150 base power Pokemon that is able to start going in and start sweeping stuff. And I think that's so fun, very powerful. And if they do knock out your Tyranitar as well, it comes down to just Houndstone. Then you have a really powerful attack with Sand Up. You're able to outspeed everything and just kind of end the game out. And I think it's so useful. Now, in terms of other stuff that you could run on this Pokemon, I do think like Destiny Bond's an interesting choice. The team I'm playing does feature Destiny Bond instead of Protect on this Pokemon, because you're able to go in and actually, if a Pokemon's about to knock you out, maybe, you know, you have an extra Pokemon in the back, and a Pokemon's going to knock you out, you're low on health, and you're faster and everything, use Destiny Bond, it knocks you out, and then you take that Pokemon with you, right? A nice little cheeky play that you can get through a couple interesting scenarios with. I don't know how well that would work in an open team sheet format, but in like just the laddering, super fun way to deal with a annoying Pokemon that you might have to fight. So I really like the Destiny Bond option. I don't really know if there's a whole lot else you'd rather rotate in on this Pokemon. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much else that would be ideal, just because like right now, with like Iron Hands running around, Roaring Moon stuff, the Play Rough just fits so well, and Will-O-Wisp gives you a lot of utility into opposing physical threats. So I really like this particular setup on this Pokemon. Now, other teammates that this is going to be good with is like Talonflame. Talonflame actually is going to be very nice with this because you can set up Tailwind, so even if you don't have the sand up, you can make this Pokemon incredibly fast and start doing some work with it. So I think Talonflame is a very fun Pokemon. Honestly, Talonflame, another Pokemon I've talked about recently, just is so good right now in the format and is something you should definitely consider adding to a team because it's just so good, especially with Great Tusk and Tyranitar. Very, very fun Pokemon to use. Now, just like all Pokemon, there are some stuff that this isn't going to like to see. Mainly, you want to get this in an endgame scenario where there's very minimal Pokemon for you to clean up. You don't want to be relying on Houndstone alone against multiple Pokemon because you just can't take enough damage to knock out every Pokemon because you're all single target. But like Fluttermane can pose some serious problems for this Pokemon. Just because it's naturally so fast, and if maybe you ran out of Sandstorm or something, this Pokemon's going to cause a lot of issues for you. Other Pokemon that are going to... Goldango could potentially cause some issues for you. Just a very popular Ghost-type Pokemon. I think one that we're seeing just a small amount of use of, Mimikyu could definitely cause problems for this Pokemon. It's fast, it's able to Shadow Sneak you. I think this Pokemon is definitely something that you need to be aware of. You're not seeing it a ton, but you are seeing it sprinkled in here and there as like a offensive Pokemon or like a alternate Trick Room setter. So definitely something to just keep your eye out for. Mimikyu is definitely something that Houndstone it doesn't really like playing into. Another Pokemon, Tyranitar. I talked about it earlier as a Pokemon that, you know, you could hit with your play roughs and do pretty decent damage to, but like Tyranitar is so bulky anyways, and you're going to be faster. So if it hits you with like an Assurance or even just a Crunch, you're going to be in really rough shape playing into this particular Pokemon. So definitely something you have to consider there because Tyranitar, like I said, is seeing so much use right now. So a Pokemon that just you need to be aware of. Another one that actually at OCIC we are seeing a jump in use, Kingambit. Kingambit you need to be very scared of, mainly because it has Sucker Punch pressure, and its Sucker Punches are going to hit you so freaking hard. So this Pokemon is just always a threat, and with the changing in the Terra typings, like now it's running like Flying and Psychic and things like that to avoid dealing with threats like Great Tusk and things like that, and Iron Hands. This Pokemon is like it's a menace against Houndstone. It's something that we on OCIC, I think it jumped up into the top use cases on day one, and I think it was in like 17% on teams, which is we saw quite a bit of a drop off for this Pokemon. So I was surprised to see it return in such stride, but this Pokemon is still very, very good and something you need to be aware of if you're running a Houndstone team, because it again doesn't like Sucker Punches. I mean, you could say the same thing for like a Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet's very, very powerful as well. And its Sucker Punches, which is something it does favor using, is going to do a significant amount of damage here. You do have access to Play Rough to kind of deal with it, but just something you need to be aware of for this particular Pokemon, because I mean its base attack is very, very high. So it is definitely a threat with Sucker Punch priority. But that is really going to be it for this video, guys. It's just a Pokemon that you should definitely consider working onto like a ladder team or something. It's very, very fun to use and can be very, very effective in the current format. I just think it's a sleeper pick, honestly. I think you really should be thinking about picking up Houndstone and using it on a team. But like I said, that's it. If you enjoyed the video at any point, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. It really means a lot to me, and we're trying to hit that goal of 5,000 subs like I mentioned earlier. Also, be sure to check out the Discord with people over there hanging out, playing Pokemon all the time. Also, check out this video where I use my Houndstone team on the ladder. Not my Houndstone team. I actually borrowed a rental code from another player. That all the information is in the description below as well. You can check out that Houndstone team for yourself. But a very fun Houndstone team to use on the ladder in game, and I had a great time with it. So check that video out as well, and also check out this video where I talk about all the changes that we're getting in patch 1.2 in Scarlet and Violet. So really cool stuff. They're fixing a lot in this game, and it's very exciting, so check that out as well. But until next time, peace.